Expert Guide to New York. The most exciting city in the world, bar none, with more restaurants, bars, museums and iconic sites than virtually any other big city in the world. It's also, for better or worse, quite unlike the mean streets stereotype. New York is safe, welcoming, and makes you feel as if you belong. This is partly due to the logic of design. Manhattan is laid out on a simple grid system so that you always know where you are and can pretty much walk everywhere. But the locals are also surprisingly friendly. When to go to New York? New York is a year-round destination with 4 distinct seasons. Winter can be magical, with thick snowfalls followed by cloudless skies. Summer has the most reliable weather, although August can be insufferably humid. Spring and autumn are the best, with clear blue skies and a crispness to the air, the leaves in Central Park turning a beautiful golden red by October. New York, free things to do. The best free things to do in New York, including attractions for kids, families and couples. By Douglas Rogers, Telegraph Travel's New York expert. Metropolitan Museum of Art. Known simply as the Met, this iconic museum on the eastern side of Central Park is so enormous you'll be overwhelmed if you don't narrow your focus. The collection features Greek, Roman, African, ancient Egyptian and Byzantine galleries, as well as modern American art, and paintings and sculptures of the European masters, everyone from Rembrandt and Vermeer, to Van Gogh and Picasso. There are also musical instruments, costumes, antique weaponry and body armor. Don't miss the roof garden, open in summer, which has stunning views of the park and city skyline, and a single artist sculpture exhibition. Order a wine from the cafe here and pretend you have a home on Fifth Avenue. Weekends and around noon tend to be busiest, so come early morning or late afternoon during the week. Entry is officially free, but most visitors pay a small donation or the full recommended price. Tickets include same-day admission to the Met Brewer, the Met's new space dedicated to modern and contemporary art, and the Met Cloisters. American Museum of Natural History. On the west side of Central Park, this epic museum is a wonder of the natural world. From the enormous full-size model of the blue whale suspended in space in the main atrium, watch the faces of the kids light up as they see it, to the giant space rocks in the Hall of Meteorites upstairs. Entering here is another world. Various halls dedicated to birds, ocean mammals, Earth's many different biospheres, African deserts to South American rainforests, and more, come alive in remarkable displays. My favorite, the Hall of Reptiles and Amphibians, where you can see poison dart frogs, a Galapagos giant tortoise, and 2 10-ft long 200-pound Komodo dragons that were brought to the museum from Indonesia in 1926. Weekends are very busy, as is summer when school is out. Try to come early morning or late afternoon during the week. Officially free, but there are suggested admission fees. Times Square. The crossroads of the world, the most visited place on the face of the earth. This is the wild, electric heart of New York City. Running from the junction of Broadway and 7th Avenue between West 42nd and West 47th Streets in Midtown, it's a cacophony of noise and light, and crowded with people 24 hours a day. When they say the city never sleeps, they mean Times Square. Come at New Year, and more than 1 million people do, and you get to see the ball drop, the dropping of a giant, 12-foot ball of light from the roof of one Times Square on the stroke of midnight. Risk traffic to get a shot of yourself standing right in the middle of the road, light and buildings all around. Brooklyn Bridge. Completed in 1883 after an estimated 27 people died during its construction, the 1,595 ft long suspension bridge connecting Manhattan to Brooklyn over the East River is as iconic a symbol of the city as the Empire State Building. To walk or bike it, start at Center Street near City Hall, in Manhattan, taking in the views of Governor's Island to the south, the Statue of Liberty beyond, and the Manhattan Bridge to the north. From the middle, you also get great views of the Manhattan skyline. Built out of limestone and giant granite rock shipped down the Hudson River from Maine, make sure to read the plaque on the bridge dedicated to Emily Roebling, her husband Washington, and her father-in-law, John. the engineers behind what for years was an ill-fated project. The High Line. This gorgeous landscaped park is set on a reclaimed, elevated industrial rail line that stretches 24 blocks from Gansevoort Street in the south to 34th Street, close to the Hudson on the west side of Manhattan. There are 10 sets of stairs to exit and enter from the streets below, and chairs and benches among all the trees and wild grasses up top, from where to look at the river to the west. Keep an eye out for the rotating series of artwork along and around the High Line, including site-specific sculpture and billboard interventions. At 18th Street, you can sit in a glassed-in, amphitheater-like space above 10th Avenue and watch the traffic zooming to and fro underneath you. It's the perfect space for catching the sunset before dinner or a cocktail in the Meatpacking District or Chelsea Gallery District down below.